Hello and welcome to Moneylife. This is Sucheta Dalal. This week, let's talk about something different. Believe it or not, I want to talk about the Air India incident, where a flight coming from Chicago to New Delhi had to turn back because 8 out of 12 toilets apparently got clogged. Now, why is this the subject of a business video? Because I believe that it affects our national reputation, it's a national embarrassment, it cuts across issues like the India brand, people's perception about India, and along with it, the brand equity of the country and the companies. So, corporate India also will pay a price over a period of time. There's no escape. So, let's look at this. Let's look at the context, first of all. India is on the rise as a global tourism powerhouse. In fact, The Economist has been waxing eloquent about India. A McKinsey report has said that outbound Indian tourism is already a vital source of global tourism. And this is expected to double by 2030. Recognizing this, many countries have eased visa restrictions, introduced direct flights, tailored services in order to accommodate Indian travelers, to make it easy for us to just hop to another country, especially in Southeast Asia. In fact, a Wikipedia page which tracks this, called Tourism in India, says that the number of countries that are allowing visa-free travel for Indian passport holders has surged from just 23 in 2020 to 60 today. Indians have begun to take great pride in how they are treated when they go abroad and the global presence that they have. At the same time, let's not forget that any of us who travel abroad also realize that our country offers so much more in terms of heritage, culture, places of religious significance, natural beauty. Every one of our sites across the country can become something major as a tourist magnet. Yet we are going to other countries, enjoying the scenic beauty, knowing fully well that India has better to offer because India is far more expensive, pricing itself out of the business because of high costs, high taxes, poor accessibility, and don't forget safety and hygiene issues. Go to a World Heritage Site and you cannot even find clean toilets. So people are ignoring India, going abroad. We have become great global travelers. We are being welcomed. And in the middle of this is this bombshell, a deeply disturbing undercurrent that threatens to overshadow all the positives of outbound tourism. It is the lack of civic sense and basic hygiene among Indian travelers, which is leading to global embarrassment like the one I began with. So the story is this, if you missed the news. On 5th March 2025, Air India flight AI 126 was coming with 300 passengers from Chicago to Delhi. Within an hour and 45 minutes, they began to notice that one after the other, the toilets were choked. In less than 5 hours, 8 out of 12 toilets had become unserviceable. Why? Because apparently passengers were dumping bags, rags, cloth into the plumbing system. Air India has admitted this. It has even shown photographs of polythene bags full of these kind of rags. This made global headlines. All the papers in the world, after all, it was a flight from New York. Extremely embarrassing. Yes, Air India took care of the passengers. That doesn't change the humiliation for the country as a whole. Yet, neither Air India nor the Indian government seem to acknowledge the gravity of the situation. There's no public investigation, no policy response, no sign of pertinent questions being asked, even by the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, which is the aviation regulator. And the regulator has been sending out show cause notices even when past incidents have happened, like someone peeing in an aircraft. They must. But why the silence this time? What about the tourism board? Isn't it supposed to look at what this means for tourists, tourism, travel to India? It's not bothered. Complete silence. And all these incidents are tarnishing India's global image. Now, the first question that we wanted to address is this sabotage or collective civic failure? We are like that only. Indians are dirty. Wait a minute. 8 out of 12 toilets, a lot of us found it hard to believe. And speculation ran wild on social media. Some speculated that the incident was an act of sabotage. In fact, an aviation expert, Joe Schweizerman, told NBC5 investigates, yeah, they also did a deep story on this, that one person alone couldn't have blocked 8 toilets in such a short time. So if it wasn't sabotage, there's a deeper problem. So I wrote to Air India and asked them, do you have anything to say? Do you have more details? Do you want to share something off the record? No reply. They sent me that same standard press release that they had issued, which even asked people to be more careful. There is speculation that Air India's aircraft quality is a problem. But why then does it happen occasionally? More worryingly, let's address the key issue, passenger habits, because it has not happened for the first time. It has happened repeatedly. Air India released photos this time about what was found, but its press release actually said, and I'm quoting, while not found on AI 126, our teams have previously found objects such as blankets, innerwear, diapers, flush down toilets on other flights. Global airlines have not reported this about Indian passengers, but apparently happens all the time in Air India. I mean, how embarrassing is this? Air India also issued an appeal to passengers to use toilets correctly and appears to have moved on. Can we as a country move on, or until the next embarrassment, or you take a flight and it goes back, you don't reach your destination, you don't need to get the connecting flight? Why? Because people have messed up the toilets. They apparently rush to the toilets and start stuffing blankets. Hard to believe. But if there's no investigation, we have to accept that this is a wider pattern of general behavior or misbehavior. And believe me, there is reason to think that it is a general pattern of behavior, because in the past 3 years, all of you have read these headlines. The numerous incidents of in-flight misconduct, ranging from people physically abusing crew members, urinating on fellow passengers. Yes, this has happened. And in one highly disturbing incident, it was again an AI flight 888 from Mumbai to Delhi. A male passenger spat, defecated, and urinated on the floor of the aircraft. Can you even imagine the next hour or whatever that people had to sit with it? So I believe that this is not about aviation alone. It extends beyond aviation. We are introducing smart trains, the Vande Bharat. We want world-class trains and world-class facilities. But what happens? Passengers destroy seats, rip up the foam, destroy windows, and bio toilets. A nightmare because they're flushing all kinds of things. Clearly, the country needs needs massive education. And yes, we have had a campaign to stop public defecation. We are at that level. Again, another embarrassment. But as I keep saying, it is the responsibility of every Indian to take everybody with us. Otherwise, our image is going to be that of a poor, unhygienic country which has no sense of how to even use toilets. Now, if a section of travelers behave like this at home, they are going to carry this abroad, which means that they're going to mess up toilets in hotels that they stay in when they go there. And are you going to be welcome after that? We also have all other issues about whether we clean toilets or not. So civic sense influences global perception. India's stature as an economic powerhouse may be increasing. We have a long way to go. But this is only one aspect of how the world perceives us. Our behavior, our hygiene, and our civic sense are going to come back to bite us if it is not fixed. In-flight incidents send a damaging message. And believe me, if there are in-flight incidents, there are incidents in hotels which have not yet blown up, and they're going to blow up internationally. For the nation, it is a wake-up call. You cannot be proud without waking up to these issues. You cannot treat them as isolated embarrassments. A broader cultural failure cannot be brushed aside. And let's not indulge in a blame game. Let's not say government, oh, those people, not like us, because when there is reputational damage, it's not about those people or these people, it's about all of us, Indians, right? So the Indian government's effort has been there. It's not like the government is not doing things. Swachh Bharat mission, from 2014 to 19, they thought in 5 years you can change behavior. It has not succeeded. There were a lot of photo ops with politicians and film stars doing their little jhadu, but that hasn't helped. Government has tried to do river pollution, garbage collection, but even today, in a developed state, relatively developed state with higher GDP like Maharashtra, whose chief minister is at Davos, we are putting huge quantities of untreated sewage into our rivers. We are still at that level. So it is a national and cultural issue. Let's not, miss that. Who is going to fix it? According to me, corporate India has massive advertising budgets, social influence, power to drive meaningful change, and the power to get better people to do this. The advertising industry in India has historically played a key role in shifting the attitudes of society. In fact, sometimes without even attaching their brand to it. This is because we have had corporate leaders like this, and we've had agencies that have gone the mile. Many of you are youngsters. You will not remember this story. 12th March 1993. It was a day like no other. Suddenly in the afternoon, we heard of a bomb blast at Air India building. In a matter of minutes, there was a blast at the Bombay Stock Exchange. Just as we are getting our head around it, there was a series of blasts going all the way to Sea Rock. They were aimed specifically at economic centers of Bombay with a view to destroy us and kill our spirit, kill the economic spirit of Bombay. A petrol pump just narrowly missed in the other, otherwise there would have been a bigger problem. 257 people died, 1,400 were injured, and this was just the first of serial blasts that we have had in India. But that one was a real shock. The city was battered. They didn't know what to think or what to do. In the middle of it all, there was an advertising agency called Trikaya Grey. It was then known as India's most creative agency. It worked over the weekend to come up with an amazing campaign, and we're going to show you those videos. It was titled Salam Bombay. There were hoardings, there were television spots, they were in the media, literally over the weekend. The blast happened on a Friday. On Monday, the stock exchange reopened because of a lot of work behind the scenes to say, let's not allow people across the border to think they have beaten us. We are going to come back. And you're going to see how it worked. You know how this happened? One phone call between an industrialist and Ravi Gupta, an advertising legend, got his team together and asked them to work over the weekend and come up with this. That industrialist, as we got to know much later, was Narottam Saxena, the founder of Gujarat Ambuja Cements. He had one condition for Ravi Gupta, that the company's brand name would not be associated with the advertising campaign, because he said it was not about a company and a branding. It was about Bombay, my Bombay, as they called it. And even today, you get goosebumps when you think about it. Watch it yourself. Look at those hoardings. All of us have been through it. Okay. This is not the only example, but this shows you what can be achieved even by the private corporate sector. They are equally part of this. There have been recent examples. Ariel had this campaign, hashtag share the load. It told people how all the housework is not, household chores are not a woman's job. It was an evocative campaign and apparently led to a measurable, perceptible decline in the percentage of Indian men who believe that all house-related work is a woman's job. Titan, it has braved the heat on social media to come up with bold campaigns that address issues like color, gender, remarriage, religion, discrimination, and it continues to do it. Globally, companies have done it. They've chipped in with highly emotive and very successful campaigns on mental health, road safety, organ donation, drunk diving, date rape, and so many other things. It has to happen again. We need quick action. We need to, one that emulates what India did. Let me give you another example. So there is this Schiphol airport urinal fly. Look at this ad. Okay, that little fly that you see is printed in a urinal. It was a simple way to tell men not to mess the floor around and to aim correctly. It made headlines, it was a talk of town, and it made a difference in keeping things cleaner. We need something like that. whatever. We need something. We can't be growing as an economic powerhouse and behaving the way we do. No country is going to tolerate Indians with basic disregard for basic hygiene. No matter how much we contribute to their tourism revenue, they're going to shun us. Aircraft cannot afford to turn back. They're also going to say 300 passengers being accommodated, put on other flights. It is unviable. There is no option but to get clean. And remember, if you are traveling business class, even business class toilets were affected because everything goes into one pool, I guess. But don't think that you're traveling first class. And very, very few people can actually hire corporate jets. So it's about all of us. India's rise on the global stage must be accompanied by a rise in civic consciousness. Otherwise, the world will know us not for our economic achievements, but as ugly Indians. It is our collective responsibility. Maybe Air India can get it rolling. I mean, it's been the butt of so many memes laughing about them and saying what their in flight announcements should be. Air India, Titan, the Tata Group, they have great advertising. Why not start with that? Don't dismiss it. It's not about Air India alone. Yes, you need to change your aircraft. It is about all of us. All of us have to do our bit, share this, make people talk, make them understand that it's not okay to laugh. Each one of us is going to be affected. It's our reputation at stake. If you agree, please subscribe and share this video. Thank you.